The Galactic Federation's flagship Eternal Dawn hung motionless in the void, its crystalline sensors probing the darkness of space near the Sol system. Admiral Zixtai, a veteran of countless first contact missions, stood on the bridge with his 4 arms clasped behind his back, all 6 eyes fixed on the main display. Another energy surge. Admiral, reported his science officer, Renla. Her tentacles danced across the holographic interface. Unlike anything in our database, the humans shouldn't have this kind of technology. They're barely a century into their space age. Zixtai chittered thoughtfully. The Federation had been watching Earth for decades, cataloging their rapid technological progress with mild interest. But these recent energy readings suggested something impossible, power signatures that rivaled dying stars. "Show me the latest scan," he ordered. The display shifted, revealing a cluster of ships in high Earth orbit. They appeared unremarkable at first glance. Sleek vessels with minimal ornamentation, painted in muted grays and blues. But the energy readings, Zixtai's outer eyes widened as he processed the data. "Impossible," he whispered. "These readings suggest each ship contains enough power to trigger a localized supernova." "Sir," Renla finished, "but contained, controlled. The humans have somehow found a way to harness and stabilize stellar energy within their ships." The bridge fell silent. Such technology was theoretical at best, considered impossible by most Federation scientists. Yet here was evidence that humans, supposedly primitive humans, had not only conceived of it, but successfully implemented it. "Send the standard greeting package," Zixtai decided. "Let's see how they respond to official first contact." The message was transmitted, a carefully crafted combination of mathematical sequences and universal constants designed to demonstrate peaceful intentions. Minutes passed as it crossed the vast distance to Earth's defense fleet. The response came not in words or mathematics, but in action. The human ships shifted formation with impossible precision, creating a perfect geometric pattern that mirrored the mathematical sequence in the Federation's greeting. But with one crucial difference. Their pattern incorporated stellar mechanics equations that explained exactly how their ships functioned. "They're not just responding," Renla breathed. "They're showing us they understand our science and have surpassed it." Before Zixtai could respond, a transmission cut through their communications systems with ease, bypassing encryption as if it wasn't there. A human voice, speaking perfect galactic standard. "Greetings, Admiral Zixtai of the Galactic Federation. We've been expecting you. Welcome to Sol Space. We trust our demonstration has made our technological capabilities clear." Zixtai felt his scales ripple with unease. The humans hadn't just achieved the impossible. They'd been waiting to reveal it. "I am impressed," he managed. "Though I must ask why you've kept such advances hidden." A soft chuckle came through the comm. "Admiral, when you discover you can harness the power of stars, you don't announce it to the galaxy. You wait until the right moment. A moment like this." On the display, one of the human ships detached from the formation. It moved with a grace that defied its size, coming to rest at a respectful distance from the Federation flagship. Up close, Zixtai could see subtle patterns in its hull, flowing lines that seemed to pulse with contained energy. "We call this class of ship the Stellar Forge," the human explained. "Would you like a closer demonstration of its capabilities? We've prepared several tests that should answer the questions I'm sure your scientists are burning to ask." Renla's instruments were already recording unprecedented data. "Admiral," she said quietly, "these readings suggest their power core contains the equivalent energy of a dying sun." The human finished for her. "Contained within a quantum matrix of our own design. Stable, controlled, and capable of being used for either peaceful exploration or other purposes, should the need arise." The implied threat wasn't lost on Zixtai, but there was something else in the human's tone. Pride, yes, but also an invitation. They weren't just showing off their power. They were offering to share knowledge. "Perhaps," Zixtai said carefully, We should discuss how humanity might join the Galactic Federation. As equals, of course. Another chuckle from the human commander. Of course. Though I think you'll find our definition of equals may require some adjustment to your Federation's hierarchy. Shall we begin negotiations? As Zixtai gazed at the human vessel, its hull thrumming with contained stellar energy, he realized that this wasn't just first contact, it was a pivotal moment in galactic history. Humanity hadn't just reached for the stars. They'd learned to harness their power in ways that would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. Yes, he replied, all six eyes fixed on the magnificent ship before him. Let's begin. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the Galactic Federation's Science Council, her holographic presentation showing the schematics of humanity's greatest technological achievement. The assembled alien scientists leaned forward, their various sensory organs fixed on the complex diagrams floating in the air. The Phoenix Protocol began as a defensive measure, she explained, her voice steadied despite the historical weight of this revelation. 50 years ago, our deep space telescopes detected something that changed everything. A massive stellar engineering project on the edges of known space. Someone was harvesting entire stars for energy. The council chamber erupted in murmurs. A Zentarian scientist raised his crystalline appendage. But the energy requirements for such containment, the computational power needed for stabilization, Sarah smiled, would be beyond anything you've theorized. Yes, that's exactly why we had to think differently. We couldn't match their scale, so we went smaller, more efficient. The hologram shifted, showing the interior of a stellar Ford ship. At its heart pulsed a sphere of pure energy, contained within layers of quantum fields and probability matrices. Instead of harvesting entire stars, we learned to create miniature stellar cores. Sarah continued, perfect replicas of dying stars, but compressed into a space no larger than this room. The energy density is actually higher than a natural star, because we can control the fusion reactions with absolute precision. A Medusan observer floated forward, its thought tendrils glowing with skepticism. Such control should be impossible. The computational requirements alone would exceed the processing power of every computer in the Federation combined. Sarah finished. If we use traditional computing methods, but we don't. We use quantum entanglement between the stellar core and its containment field. The system essentially monitors itself, making adjustments in real time across all quantum states simultaneously. She gestured, and the hologram showed a time-lapse of a stellar Ford ship powering up. The core ignited like a miniature sun, its energy flowing through the ship's systems in precisely controlled streams. The Phoenix Protocol got its name because each core is born from the pattern of a dying star, Sarah explained. We scan stars in their final stages, mapping their quantum states. Then we recreate those states in miniature, but frozen at the perfect moment, when they're releasing maximum energy, but before collapse. An Arcanian physicist interrupted, his metallic voice resonating with disbelief. You're saying you can take a snapshot of a supernova and replay it indefinitely? More than that, Sarah corrected. We can control it, modify it. Each ship's core is like a musical instrument, capable of infinite variations on the same cosmic theme. The energy can be directed for propulsion, weapons, shields, or peaceful applications like terraforming. The hologram showed footage from the first successful test, a prototype ship approaching Jupiter's dead moon Europa. A carefully controlled beam of stellar energy striking the icy surface. Within minutes, the ice began to melt, revealing the liquid ocean below. This was our proof of concept, Sarah said softly. We could use the power of stars not just for destruction, but for creation, for transformation. Each ship carries the potential to reshape worlds, to ignite new suns, or yes, to unleash devastating weapons if threatened. The council chamber had grown very quiet. Sarah could see the implications sinking in. Humanity hadn't just developed a new technology. They'd fundamentally changed the rules of space travel, energy production, and warfare all at once. "But why reveal this now?" asked the Zentarian. "Why not keep such an advantage secret?" Sarah's expression grew serious. "Because we detected more stellar engineering projects. Whoever is harvesting stars out there, they're getting closer. And we believe the galaxy needs to be ready. Not just humanity, but all spacefaring species." She brought up a final image, a map of the galaxy with dozens of points marked in red. "These are the locations of dying stars that match the quantum patterns we've detected. Someone is creating a network, preparing for something big. We don't know their intentions, but we do know this. United with this technology shared and improved upon by all our species, we stand a better chance of facing whatever's coming." The council chamber erupted in discussion, but Sarah had made her point. The Phoenix Protocol wasn't just about human advancement. It was about survival. About taking the power of dying stars and using it to ensure life, in all its forms, would continue to thrive in the galaxy. As the council debated, Sarah quietly added, "And that's why we called it the Phoenix Protocol. Because sometimes the only way to save the future is to harness the very force of destruction itself and turn it into a force for rebirth." The Arcturus Defense Station shuddered as another wave of gravitational distortions washed over it. Through the quantum-reinforced windows, Fleet Commander Maya Rodriguez watched as the Hegemony's massive harvester ships tore energy directly from the dying star. Each extraction sent ripples of destructive force across the system. "Status report," she demanded, eyes fixed on the horrific spectacle before her. Her XO, James Chen, consulted the holographic readouts. "Arcturus Station's shields are holding, but the colony on Haven is experiencing severe seismic events from the gravitational fluctuations. Population centers are being evacuated to underground bunkers." The Hegemony had arrived without warning 3 days ago. A fleet of enormous ships that dwarfed even humanity's stellar forge vessels. Their demand was simple: surrender the system and its dying star, or face annihilation. "Message from the Hegemony flagship," announced the communications officer. "They're laughing at our warning." Maya's jaw tightened. She had informed the Hegemony about humanity's stellar forge technology, warning them that continuing their harvest would be seen as an act of war. They had dismissed it as a bluff. "Very well," Maya said quietly. "Initiate Protocol Helios. All ships, battle positions." The human fleet moved with perfect synchronization. 5 stellar forge ships took up positions around the station, their quantum cores pulsing with contained stellar energy. Maya knew what the Hegemony was seeing. Ships that seemed absurdly small compared to their massive harvesters. "Final warning transmitted," James reported. Their response: "They're calling us primitives who don't understand true power." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. "Show them." The lead stellar forge ship, the Phoenix Dawn, activated its primary system. Its quantum core flared brilliantly, and for a moment it seemed to contain 2 stars, its own miniature sun and a perfect quantum reflection of Arcturus itself. "By the void," James whispered. "The resonance is perfect." The Phoenix Dawn had achieved quantum entanglement with the dying star the Hegemony was attempting to harvest. Every extraction they attempted would now be met with an equal and opposite reaction from the human ship's contained stellar core. The effect was immediate. The Hegemony's energy siphons began to falter, their carefully calculated harvesting patterns disrupted by the unexpected resistance. Their massive ships shuddered as feedback loops cascaded through their systems. "They're powering up weapons," James reported. "Multiple targeting solutions." "Let them," Maya said calmly. "Activate secondary resonance." The other 4 stellar forge ships joined the quantum link, their cores synchronizing with both the Phoenix Dawn and Arcturus itself. The combined energy signature was overwhelming. A perfect harmony of stellar power that turned the space around the human fleet into a quantum mirror of the star itself. The Hegemony's first volley of weapons fire simply vanished, absorbed into the quantum field. Their second never came. Their targeting systems couldn't distinguish the human ships from the star anymore. "They're hailing us," the communications officer announced. "Priority channel." The holographic display showed a being Maya had never seen before. Tall, ethereal, with skin that seemed to ripple like the surface of a star. Its expression was one of utter disbelief. "Impossible," it said in perfectly translated Galactic Standard. "You've achieved quantum stellar resonance, but our calculations showed your species was centuries away from such technology." "Your calculations were wrong," Maya replied simply. "Now let me explain exactly what will happen if you don't withdraw immediately. Right now, our ships are simply disrupting your harvest, but we can do much more. We can force a quantum collapse that will trigger your harvesters to implode. We can redirect the stellar energy you're trying to steal back into your ships with exponentially increasing force. Or we can simply maintain this resonance until your fleet runs out of power, stranded in deep space." The being's skin rippled with what might have been fear. "You would risk the stability of this entire sector. The gravitational consequences alone." "We're not the ones who started harvesting stars," Maya countered. "We found a better way. A way that doesn't involve destroying entire systems and the civilizations that depend on them. You can either withdraw and open diplomatic channels to discuss sharing this technology, or you can test our resolve. Your choice." The silence stretched for long moments as the being consulted with others off-screen. Finally, it turned back to Maya. "We withdraw," it said quietly. "But this is not over. The power of stars belongs to those strong enough to take it." "No," Maya corrected. "It belongs to those wise enough to use it properly. Remember that. Phoenix Fleet, maintain resonance until they clear the system." As the massive hegemony ships began to retreat, James approached Maya's command station. "They'll be back," he said softly. "With more ships, more power." Maya nodded. "Yes, but now they know we can fight them on equal terms. And next time, we'll have the entire Galactic Federation standing with us." Sometimes, the best way to prevent a war is to prove you can win it. The stellar Ford ships maintained their perfect formation as Arcturus slowly stabilized, their quantum cores gradually releasing their resonance with the star. They had achieved victory without firing a shot, using power not to destroy, but to protect. It was, Maya reflected, exactly what the Phoenix Protocol had been designed for, turning the power of dying stars not into weapons of war, but into shields for the defense of life itself. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Federation had never been so crowded. Representatives from over 1,000 species filled the vast chamber, their conversations creating a symphony of different languages. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Elena Santos, Earth's representative, facing the Federation Council. "The balance of power has shifted," declared High Counselor Vex Thor, his crystalline form refracting light across the chamber. "Humanity's stellar forge technology has changed everything. Some say too much, too quickly." Elena surveyed the assembled delegates. She could see the fear in some, the hunger for power in others, and genuine curiosity in many. The revelation of humanity's capabilities had sent shockwaves through galactic society. Change was inevitable. Elena responded. "The hegemony's star harvesting threatened every civilization in this galaxy. We simply found the solution first." A Quantarian delegate floated forward, its energy form flickering with agitation. "A solution that gives humanity unprecedented power. Already, there are rumors of planets seeking Earth's protection instead of maintaining their Federation memberships." Elena remained calm. "We've been completely transparent about our intentions. The Phoenix Protocol was developed as a shield, not a sword. That's why we're here today, to discuss sharing this technology with all Federation members who agree to the safety protocols." The chamber erupted in excited whispers. This was the moment many had been waiting for, but High Counselor Vex Thor raised his hand for silence. "Share the technology," he asked. "Just like that. There must be conditions." "Of course," Elena agreed. "3, to be specific. First, Any nation receiving stellar forge technology must agree to use it only for peaceful purposes or defensive actions. Second, all deployments must be monitored by a joint Federation Earth Oversight Committee. Third, and most importantly, recipient nations must contribute to the Stellar Shield Initiative. Holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing plans for a vast network of stellar forge ships positioned throughout the galaxy. Each would serve as both an early warning system and a rapid response force against any future threats. The hegemony is still out there, Elena continued, and they're not the only ones who would consume stars for power. We propose a united defense network, powered by stellar forge technology, but controlled by all member nations collectively. A mechanoid representative stepped forward, its chrome surface reflecting the holographic displays. Your species asks us to trust you with the power of stars, yet you've hidden this technology for years. How can we be certain this isn't merely a ploy for human dominance? Elena touched a control on her podium. The holographic display shifted, showing the devastating effects of star harvesting on populated systems, worlds thrown into chaos as their suns were drained, entire civilizations forced to flee their homes. 1 year after the Federation vote, Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of humanity's newest creation, the Stellar Nexus Station. The massive structure orbited a carefully chosen neutron star, its quantum resonance arrays pulsing in perfect harmony with the dense stellar core below. Through the station's quantum-reinforced windows, she could see dozens of ships from various Federation species, each incorporating their own unique modifications to the stellar forge technology. The mechanoids had enhanced the efficiency of the quantum containment fields. The Quantarians had discovered new ways to modulate the stellar energy for faster-than-light travel. Even the crystalline Centarians had contributed, developing new methods of storing and transferring stellar power between ships. Admiral, her AI assistant materialized beside her. The deep space sensors are picking up something interesting. The pattern matches our theoretical models of the Ancient Ones. Sarah's heart quickened. The Ancient Ones, the mysterious civilization they detected harvesting entire galaxies at the edge of observable space. The threat that had driven humanity to develop the stellar forge technology in the first place. "Show me," she ordered. The holographic display filled with data streams, gravitational waves, quantum fluctuations, and energy signatures that defied conventional physics. The pattern was unmistakable. Something massive was moving through the cosmos, consuming stellar energy on an unimaginable scale. "They're still far out," the AI reported, "but the trajectory is clear. They're heading toward the Andromeda Galaxy. Estimated arrival, 300 years. Sarah nodded. "Just as we predicted. Alert the Federation Council and activate Protocol Omega." Throughout the station, lights shifted to a deep blue as quantum computers began processing the new data. In orbit around the neutron star, the assembled fleet of Federation ships moved into a precise formation, their stellar forge cores synchronizing with the station's resonance arrays. "Look at them," Sarah murmured, watching the ships move in perfect coordination. A year ago, these species were suspicious of each other. Now they're working together like they've been doing it for centuries. The station's central chamber had become a hub of interspecies cooperation. Mechanoid engineers worked alongside organic scientists, their combined knowledge pushing the boundaries of what was possible with stellar energy. Quantum beings floated through the corridors, their very existence now enhanced by controlled stellar power. A notification chimed, and a holographic figure appeared. High Counselor Vexthor, now head of the newly formed Stellar Defense Coalition. "Admiral Chen," he greeted her. "The Council has reviewed the data. We're initiating the construction of the Sentinel Array ahead of schedule." Sarah smiled. The Sentinel Array, humanity's most ambitious project yet, developed in cooperation with their new allies. A network of stations like the Stellar Nexus, positioned throughout both galaxies, designed to detect and counter any large-scale stellar engineering projects. "The hegemony representatives have arrived as well," Vexthor continued. They're eager to discuss terms of surrender and technological exchange. Amazing what the threat of a greater enemy can do for diplomacy, Sarah remarked. The hegemony, once so confident in their star-harvesting technology, had quickly changed their tune when confronted with evidence of the Ancient Ones. There's something else, Vex-Thor added, his crystalline form shimmering with what Sarah had learned to recognize as excitement. The Quantarians believe they've found a way to communicate across quantum states with stellar cores. If they're right, we might be able to contact the Ancient Ones before they arrive. Sarah finished. Try to understand their intentions, maybe even negotiate. Or prepare more effectively if negotiation proves impossible, Vex-Thor agreed. Sarah turned back to the window, watching as a new ship emerged from the station's construction bay. The first of a new class, designed and built by a coalition of species. Its hull gleamed with integrated crystalline matrices, its quantum core pulsing with perfectly controlled stellar energy. We've come so far, she mused, but this is just the beginning. The power of stars brought us together, but it's what we choose to do with that power that will define us. The ship's engines ignited, its stellar core creating a miniature aurora as it prepared for its first test flight. Around it, ships from a dozen different species moved in formation, their crews working together to push the boundaries of what was possible. Send word to Earth, Sarah instructed her AI. Tell them Protocol Omega is proceeding as planned. The Federation is ready. Whatever's coming, we'll face it together. As she watched the combined fleet prepare for their next mission, Sarah reflected on how far they'd come. Humanity had reached for the stars not to conquer them, but to protect them. In doing so, they'd found not just power, but partnership. Not just technology, but trust. The Ancient Ones were coming, but they wouldn't find a divided galaxy easy to harvest. Instead, they would face something unprecedented. A unified civilization that had learned to harness the power of stars not for destruction, but for defense. Not for dominance, but for survival. The new dawn had arrived, and its light came from the hearts of stars themselves, controlled not by one species, but by many, working together to ensure that life itself would continue to thrive among the stars.